Hey everyone, it's me, Teresa Perrin. I have a breaking news story for you guys today on ATXI. Wait till you see the freaking corruption that has gone on in this stock, and the numbers don't lie. You're not going to believe your eyes, and I'm still trying to fathom where on earth they are hiding all of these shorts, because there's no options pool. So they can't be hiding it there. This had a recent reverse split, and I swear for the life of me, I checked this before the reverse split, and this wasn't even a short interest play. And suddenly, the short interest is over 50%. And I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to use the word allegedly so I don't get sued, but this is messed up. Guys, this stock, wait till I show you the 5-year chart on this. It's at the end of the video. It has been beat down so bad, so freaking bad. I swear to God, they were trying to drive this company into bankruptcy, and I am not kidding you. I have seen this way too much, and I am beyond disgusted. This stock right now should be well over $100 easily with the amount of volume that traded today. And I sat here and watched level 2, and let me tell you something. They were driving it down with 1, 2, 3, 5 share orders. And yes, there may have been some people just buying a couple shares because that's all they could afford. I understand that. But you should have seen the price action. And there was a way more buying than selling. Guys, there's something fishy going on here. And I assure you, this float is now corrected on Webull, interestingly enough, because I looked at it earlier today. And it was showing over 1 million shares. Well, now, guys, it's back to what I had calculated at the 685,000 shares. I swear to God, things like this make me think I am losing my mind. But there is some funny business going on. And this stock, I think, is about to freaking explode. Now, if you guys watch my channel, you watch my watch list, you know that I have been talking about this for a few days now, ever since before the reverse split. And guys, I am so glad that I stayed on this, because I'm telling you, I looked at all this information before the reverse split happened, and it was not showing me what it's showing me now. So I couldn't have been more puzzled when I saw what I saw today. And literally, I was even debating checking, other than, I'd like to add it to my video. I was like, what the heck? Seriously, guys, this is messed up. If you want to make some money, this is the play. Please spread this everywhere, because these shorts need to get smoked. These hedge funds, these market makers, they're all in on this crap, and it's absolute BS. I swear to God, I'm about livid right now, especially with the fact that how do you trade a float that has 685,000 shares and have over 59 million shares traded today? How does that happen? Please, somebody in the right mind, if you can tell me how, please comment below. I would love to know, because, and the price not go through the roof. Because if you traded every single share of a stock, which I'm going to tell you something, I didn't sell any of mine because I had this funny feeling, and I didn't care. I'm willing to swing trade this for as long as it takes. I really don't care. I know what it's going to do. Like, how do you not? Although the other half of me says, well, it's so corrupt that how do you know they're not going to find a way to drive it down more? Well, I'm going to tell you why, because I'm not going to shut my big mouth, and I am going to go blast this everywhere that I know. And I hope you guys spread it around for me too. Let's get started, because I can't make this up. And you know, guys, it's there. It's public information, and this is absolute BS. I believe I did a video on this a while back. Please go check my page and look for it, because you will see the like crazy amount of difference that there is. And it was just last week, guys, that this had the reverse split. And I swear the night of the reverse split, I'm pretty sure that I made a video. Forgive me, I am not feeling well. I don't know what the heck's up with me, but I have been sick for like 2 weeks and I can't stand it. But I have to get this information to you, because this is nuts. All right, let's get started. Remember, I say nothing I say is financial advice, and always do your own DD. Guys, don't risk money you can't afford to lose, especially on a play like this. Don't think they're not going to go down without a fight, because clearly for the last 5 years, they've been screwing with this stock, and I'm going to prove it. All right, guys, so we were up 159.94% on the day. And yes, that's great. But guys, this should have been up thousands of percent on the day with the amount of shares traded. Check this out. The free float is only 685.59 thousand shares. Just like I've been saying, I swear to God, look at my tweets today. I thought it was going out of my mind when I looked earlier and this said like 1.5 or whatever million shares. You can go back and double check me. I swear this is crazy. But this is the number that I calculated before the reverse split. This is correct. 685,000 shares. Okay, guys? Now, how on earth did they trade? Look at the volume highlighted. 35.62 million shares. That's not even right. This is wrong because I'm going to show you how many they traded later because now I'm a little bit annoyed because this is off. They traded over 59 million shares today. Let me be perfectly clear. 59 million. This number is wrong, or one of those numbers is wrong. They're not done manipulating clearly because they can't even get the volume right. Wow. Okay, that just pissed me off a little bit more. But as you can see, the average volume on this stock is like nothing, guys. It's a nothing burger, which is how they're able to do whatever it is that they're doing because there's not a lot of eyes on it. 246.58 thousand shares. That's it. That's what it normally gets for volume. And that's probably a little bit higher than normal just due to the reverse split, okay? I'm willing to bet before that it was a lot less than this. Now, 52-week low is $3. 52-week high is $27.75. And let me tell you, it should be a lot higher than $27.75 based on today's activity. Because that's nuts. All right, guys. Now, check this out. Just so you know, I'm not making this crap up. This is the inflow versus the outflow. All day today, the inflow was a lot higher than the outflow, okay? And this wasn't even the end of the day. This was taken at 258. These numbers actually got a lot higher, and the inflow was actually a lot more. That little selling pressure you saw or whatever at the end of the day, BS, it was not. There was still more buying coming in than selling. I watched this all day long. I'm sorry, this was just a screenshot that I had taken to show you guys. But this is crazy. Let me just tell you, all aspects, the extra large, the large, the medium, the small, they were all, the input was all larger than the output. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now, oh, here it is. I'm sorry. I knew I was going like nuts when I saw that other one. I had taken a second screenshot. I must have taken that earlier in the day. Apologize. See, here's the correct volume, this 58.47, and in the after hours, it's up over 59 million, guys. So I just wanted to show you that because that's just crazy. But I want you to also see something else. The average volume now has increased to 1.15 million versus a minute ago at 246.58 thousand. So you can only imagine, my point in telling you that is, you can only imagine what that number was prior. Okay, it was probably a nothing burger. There was probably like 50,000 shares traded a day, if that, which is why I think it's allowing them this corruption. If you multiply that, I mean, if you divide the 685,000 shares by the 59 million, you get 86 times. That's how much the free float was traded today. 86 times. That means that if I own, for every share that I own, I would have had to have bought and sold it 86 times. Is that even possible? No, it's not. Because I'm going to tell you something else. I bet you a lot of people who own this stock have had it for a very long time or bought it like me prior to the reverse split for the run up and knew that it was worth holding because this was going to happen. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you something. There is no way those people were in and out of it 86 times. I trade, guys, but I'm kind of weird. I have my own. I mean, yes, obviously I invest, but with my trading style, yes, I do day trade, but I also swing trade, and I like swing trading a bit more than day trading because I can't stand the constant in and out. Even though I like watching it, I like watching more than one thing. I don't know, maybe it's my ADD. I probably should be going in and out, but to me that's not as enjoyable. I kind of like watching the price action, seeing where it's going. I like watching, you know, the daily chart and things like that. So this to me is a swing trade. It's not something I'm running in and out of, guys. And plus I know how little shares there are, and I want to make sure that mine are real. Maybe in the back of my head, I don't know, because obviously we know that if they're selling you shares, they have to account for them, even though Lord knows how many shares they've created. I can't wait to see the FTDs that come out. Wait till I show you that one. So guys, just that's the share traded. For every share owned, it traded 86 times today. Do you honestly believe that happened? No, absolutely, positively not. We are talking, there has to be naked shorting and they have to be trying to cover. That's why I think they've been driving the price down. Because if you watch that tape, it wasn't normal. In that move at the end of the day when it should have broken up and it went to the downside, there was massive volume. And I mean massive volume coming in. That came out of nowhere. It was total BS. All right, so look at this. The short interest is 53.58%. Guys, I kid you not, it was like somewhere between 1% and 3% earlier in the day. And I think an article came out earlier today that might have even quoted something ridiculously low. So I'm not going nuts. Like, this is factual, and I do look at a ton of stocks every day. But I specifically know this because it was something I said, all right, this is a reverse split move. Yeah, it's not really, a high short interest play, but who knows, it could be, because something in the back of my head looking at the 5-year chart told me there's more to this story. And guys, I don't know if you notice this about me or not, but I really do kind of have some weird sixth sense when it comes to like finding crap that's happening. And, unfortunately what comes with that is, they are not going to stop easily. It's a battle, and it's not for everybody being involved in stocks like this, because you have to realize that the manipulation will not just stop. It just doesn't suddenly go away. They've been doing it for a long time. Guys, I don't know how. I wish to God I did, but I don't know what they're doing when these stocks don't have options. It's like this endless liquidity, and I don't know if there's a back book somewhere or what the heck it is. I mean, like, I'm not trying to sound like I'm making a thesis up, but something's going on. This is physically not possible what happened today. All right, there are 0 shares available to borrow. So how are they driving this price down, guys? Because they can't short it anymore. There's none left. Allegedly, supposedly, because it seems like if you pay enough money, they suddenly appear, right? I mean, we've been dealing with that for years, but the cost to borrow is 62.14%. And guys, that's up significantly from what it was prior to the reverse. Was like nothing. Go back and watch that video for real. I think I'm going to watch it myself to just remind myself, because it's just in the back of my mind going, this is night and day. Now, the short volume ratio, as you can see, the low is 32.47% and the high is 67.46%. Today, it was 44.74%. And guys, here's where things are serious. They haven't reported failure to delivers, essentially a nothing burger. Give me a break. Like 342 shares, 5,000 shares, 4,000 shares, 1,000 shares. And that's going to 829, that 1,615, right? So that would be like the only one that would be coming due in the next week or two. So this is a nothing burger to me that they're reporting. Now, it has to make you wonder, since obviously this stock went to like Pennyland, okay? It was trading at 20 cents prior to the reverse split. 20 cents the night before. I knew something was up because it instantly doubled when it was announced to 40 cents. Then it went up to as high as 66 cents, okay? Guys, I was calling this out like literally on Twitter. If you guys follow me on there, you know this, right? I knew something in that, okay? But the data that it was telling me wasn't the same as what I'm seeing now in Fintel. So why does it change like that over a few days? It has to make you wonder. It really does. And where is the liquidity coming from for a stock that has 586,000 shares to trade 59 million shares today? Seriously, guys. Where is that coming from? 586,000, right? Please tell me I have that right. 685. Sorry, I reversed my numbers. 685,000 shares. And let's go on the low end just of what's in front of us. 58 million. Guys, seriously. 86 times the float. For real. How does that happen? You have to be asking yourself that. All right, I want to show you the technical analysis and the pattern of the two ways it can go. We did have a gap up today. It could come down and fill it. Guys, I'd be shocked. If it does, I am loading the freaking boat. I don't care. I don't know what I'm going to have to sell, but it's going to have to be something because this is nuts. Like, literally. But I think it's going to curl back to the upside because it did make a cup and handle. And I think that's what we're going to see tomorrow. And if people do their DD the way I do my DD on this stock and they see what I see, guys, I can't even imagine how many people are going to be piling into this because this is a huge opportunity to smoke these shorts. And they're saying that 58% of the float is short. Okay, well, how many failure to delivers now exist based on the fact that millions of shares traded today? 59 million shares on a 685,000 float. Come on. Where do these shares come from? Like, this is not an endless liquidity pool. Well, clearly it is. I mean, they say they pull shares from somewhere, but guys, the only thing I can think of, and I hate to say this, but they're probably looking to make a deal with ATXI to do an offering above the ask right now to cover their butt. If anyone from ATXI is listening to this, if you're smart, you'll tell them to go shove it and let retail come into the stock and smoke them and raise your price to where it belongs because this is absolute BS. And I really hope that you do that because if they created all those synthetic and failure to delivers today that I believe were created, actually it's fact, look at the numbers, not I believe, I allegedly because I don't want to get sued, but they magically created them out of thin air. Well, when those come due, in T plus 35, good luck to them because they're not there. So unless you guys give them an offering, if you're listening, that is the only way that they'll be able to get out of this. And you'd be smarter not to and let your stock rip to where it's belong. And then when it's at all-time highs, like, several $100s a share, do an offering then and make them pay the price for it. Just my advice. Anyways, guys, let me give you the the technical analysis, and we'll wrap it up.
Okay, guys, we are looking at the 1-year chart of ATXI, and what we're seeing is a technical breakout, which is very apparent if you take a look at my moving averages. This green line is the 13 SMA, the purple is the 48 SMA, which is what I trade off of, and as you can see, we got that 1348 crossover on the daily chart, which is why we got this massive move to the upside. Now we have the 20 curling and trying to cross above the 48 SMA, guys. Even though we did create a gap on the daily chart on this move up, I do believe that we are going to get a continued move to the upside. And my reason being for that is because simply of this crossover. Now, eventually it may come down and fill this gap. However, that is not always the case. I mean, we have gaps in the chart. If you go to the middle of the screen and you look around March, there is 2 big gaps there. And, it did have an uptrend before it moved back down to close it. So, guys, that's what I'm looking at as far as going into tomorrow. And I do believe that we can get a continuation of this move to the upside. The volume had an amazing spike. We're still trading on the 4-hour above the 48 SMA, which is great. And guys, it looks like in the after hours, we pulled back down a little bit further. I believe the price was very manipulated today, and I am going to get into that and why I think that, because I don't believe that what we're seeing is accurate as far as the short interest goes. If you look at the 5-year chart of this, which I can pull up, well, let me just explain this real quick. So the 13 moving average crossed below the 48, which is when we got that move down and that halt to the downside, somewhere in that 848 range. And guys, I don't know why we continue down because I was looking at the level 2, essentially most of the day trading this, and it should have gone to the upside. So something really fishy is going on here, and also a stock with somewhere between 685,000 and 1.5 million. shares because I am seeing different things in different places, but I calculated this out prior to the reverse split. So somewhere some magical shares got added to this float because it should have been somewhere around 685,000. You can go back in my videos if you want the exact number, but that's off the top of my head. But it was under $1 million, and now I'm seeing 1.5 million. And there's no filings saying that there was any sort of dilution. So where are they doubling that share count? Either that or they just have things wrong as usual, or they're trying to hide something. My guess is they're trying to hide something because I believe that this is very heavily shorted. But looking at this movement, the natural movement for this, well, it should have probably gotten a breakout from this flag here, which it didn't. It broke to the downside. But the natural movement that I would expect is this to curl up and cross back above tomorrow and continue this run. I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on it because this market is so bloody, and with the massive move that it had today and the fact it is such a small float, it is easy to move to the up or downside. So I expect a continuation. Okay guys, so I do want to show you the gaps that we still have to fill in this chart to the upside and why I think this trend could continue. I did pull out the weekly chart, and here's what we have. So back at this candle where we see our first gap, the high is at $46.50, and the low of the previous candle is $62.55. So we have that fill all the way up from $46.50 to $62.55. And then this gap got filled right in here, but then there's this huge gap to the upside, which this candle's high is $82.50, and the high of this candle is the low is $155.40. So that's crazy. $82.50 to $155.40. Guys, that is like a huge move. So again, the float is very, very small. There's no way that the short interest is what they say it is. There is no way that 59 million shares traded in the stock with, let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say it's 1.5 million shares. With 1.5 million shares, there is no way that 59 million shares naturally got traded. I'm going to tell you that right now. So I can't even imagine the number of naked shorts and what they've done to hold this down and why they're continuing not to let it run, guys. Because trust me, they are trying to hold this price down. If you ever saw what I saw on the level 2, which I couldn't stop watching it, it was like, I mean, probably watching like a horror movie if you're going to compare it to something, because it should have been going through the roof. They halted it like literally every minute, every time it went up. Then it would take forever when it tried to get pulled down for them to halt it down. It's that in here stinks. It doesn't add up. Look at the volume increase that we're getting over the past few weeks. Guys, this is about to explode in my opinion. And you know what? I wouldn't even be upset if it did come down, fill the gap, created an opportunity to buy some more, and ripped right back up, because I truly think that they are targeting these gap fills, or somebody's targeting it with a lot of money. Could be a hedge fund, could be a whale, I don't know. But there's a lot of probably funnies going on. I don't know how else to say it, but a lot of naked shorting, allegedly, that had to have been created, or they never ever would have had the liquidity to move that, and this price action would have ripped, absolutely ripped, and that's what it should have done based on the share float and what happened. I'm telling you, this could be the play of the century. All right, thanks so much for watching.